Kita Rock and welcome to the Socks Box. So I am a huge Harry Potter fan. Like, I love pretty much everything about this franchise. Literally the only exception is the Cursed Child, which I refuse to consider to be canon, and despite that, I still own a copy of it. So I originally got into Harry Potter because of the movies, and the one that really got me into it was the second movie, Chamber of Secrets. And this was mainly because of Slytherin. Like, I just thought they were the coolest house ever. Of course, at the time, this was just because I really liked their color scheme and the fact that they had a basilisk. So I only really learned about the traits that go with houses once I started reading the books, which I only started doing around the time that the fifth one came out. And I found it really unfortunate that Slytherin was the bad house because they literally have the best traits. Like, Slytherin even has the best traits of other houses in it. So yeah, for today's video, I'm going to go through all the traits of Slytherin and tell you guys why these are actually really great traits to have. So yeah, let's rock it. So Slytherin traits are determination, cunning, ambition, determination, leadership, self-preservation, fraternity, and cleverness. And yes, I had to look to the side to read it out of my book because I have not committed these to memory yet. So another word associated with Slytherin is shrewd, but I don't really see this everywhere. And this can be interpreted as perceptive and intelligent and clever and cunning and being observant enough to see the bigger picture of things, which I feel is kind of the essence of Slytherin. Like, it's knowing what you want and how to get it. And if you think that's a bad thing, then you must think that Felix Felicis is like the most evil potion in existence, because it kind of helps you to do that. So resourcefulness is all about knowing how to use what you have to get what you want. And no, this is not a bad thing, because sometimes we get handed out things that we are just not prepared for, because, you know, we don't all have Hermione's beaded bag. Also, another thing that can go with this is actually identifying what you have to help you. Then we have cunning, and this does not always have to be deceptive. Maybe a little, but it's not really a bad thing. It's more about knowing how to make the best of a situation, even if it's already a great situation. It's like just how to make things better, and it doesn't have to be a totally selfish thing either. Like when Harry tricked Ron into thinking he was drinking the liquid luck. Like, Harry didn't do that to push his own cause or to win the match or anything. He just did it so Ron would have some self-confidence. And yes, I know that was a little deceptive, but the point is it's not bad. Then we have ambition. Like, do I even need to defend this? This is dreaming big and going to get what you want. Like, come on, it's a good thing. I don't need to defend this one. Next up is determination. That's like resilience, to keep going no matter how many times you fall. And it ties in very well with ambition, and I feel like these two put together kind of builds up the essence of Gryffindor. Then we have leadership, not to be confused with dictatorship. This is a difference that could benefit a lot of people in the world right now. So leadership is about helping a collective to move forward and not so much about just being the one in charge. And the best example of this in the Harry Potter franchise has got to be Neville at the end of the last book. Like, it's different in the book and the movies, but essentially he's the one who helps everyone find their will to keep on fighting against Voldemort after they think that Harry died. Like, in the movies he just steps forward and gives a little speech, but in the books, my memory is a little fuzzy on this, but I'm pretty sure he like just runs forward at Voldemort screaming Dumbledore's army or something like that. Like, there's a lot more take charge in the books, but basically he builds up everyone's will to keep fighting when everyone else thinks that all hope is lost. Like, that is leadership. Next we have self-preservation, which is something that a lot of people tend to struggle with. Because as soon as someone thinks like something is about themselves, they feel selfish and like that's a bad thing, but it's not. You really do need to put yourself first in situations because it's just healthy for you. So I couldn't really find the right words to explain this one, but I did find the perfect example. Professor Slughorn and his Slug Club. Like, for one thing, he has the foresight or the shrewdness to see potential in his students, and he actually builds a relationship with them that helps him in the future. Like, it's basically networking, which is something that as a YouTuber I could really benefit from learning how to do. Next is definitely my favorite Slytherin trait, fraternity. Like, this is about sticking together. Like, this is more powerful than Hufflepuff's loyalty, and I don't know, maybe this is just because I have a tragically long history of bad relationships, but yeah, this is definitely my favorite Slytherin trait. Like again, I don't remember this clearly, but I'm pretty sure in the Sorting Hat song when it's talking about Slytherin, it says that this is where you'll make true friends or real friends or something, and I mean, who doesn't want that? And last but not least is cleverness, which is not to be confused with intelligence from Ravenclaw. This is more about having the knowledge and knowing how to apply it to situations where it wouldn't seem particularly obvious to use something. So kind of like combining the intelligence and creativity of Ravenclaw together. Like seriously, you can know everything about everything out there, but unless you know how to apply it, it is totally useless. And yes, I just added that bit in there so I could use a picture of Sirius because I mention him in every Harry Potter themed video that I do. So yeah, that is my interpretation of the Slytherin traits, and like I said, I think these are the best traits ever. Like, it's to the point where when I first got on Pottermore and I had the choice between Hufflepuff and Slytherin, I thought the Slytherin traits were too much for me to live up to, so I went with Hufflepuff. Of course, I'm not that person anymore, and last year I was actually sorted into Ravenclaw, but I still low-key want to be a Slytherin because like these traits are just so good. So today I want to know from you guys, if you could create your own Hogwarts house with just one trait from each of the other 4 houses, what would your traits be and what would your mascot be? For me, I would take ambition from Slytherin, daring from Gryffindor, creativity from Ravenclaw, and dedication from Hufflepuff. And my mascot would be a dragonfly. Like, I have a whole reason for being obsessed with dragonflies, but that is a tale for another video. So yeah, that is it for this week's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like it, share it, and if you're new and want to see more of me, be sure to hit subscribe and book the bell to join the Socks Box and get a Socksy New video every Wednesday. If you want to know what goes on in my alternative normal life the rest of the week, you can head over to my personal channel and social medias, all of which are linked down in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until next week, you just keep rocking. Bye!